it's Meg, and Ray's running just a little bit late. Rae? Rae, what are you doing?
What? Aren't you doing a Gothic novel today?
Maybe. But I can't say which one, because it's spoilers.
Well, I'm the crazy lady in the attic.
You're crazy. Hi, I'm Meg.
And I'm Rae!
And we are MEG-A-RAE. And we still don't know where Rae is.
I'm the crazy lady in the attic! Whee!
You took that quite literally.
Oh, that's kind of the fun.
So what book are you reading? Since we all know I'm reading Gothic.
Well, we're talking about classics, and classics are not boring. There are crazy ladies in attics, there are, okay, yes, me, boozing and carousing and
Wives cheating on husbands.
and spooky old castles.
And brooding men.
Yes,
Yeah.
classics, kids, can be fun.
It can be fun.
So today, before we get started, just a brief reminder, our spring programming starts next week. So if you are interested, please check our calendar on our website, mooresvillelib.org, and sign up. They're going to be awesome.
They are awesome.
So, yes, what's your classic?
Oh, I go to go first?
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's a girl who looks like a girl.
What's that mean?
In a roundabout way, she's not a family favorite. No. Her parents died, so she had to go and live with this grumpy aunt and this horrible jerk of a cousin. So she's not the family favorite, so they send her off to a charity school, or what a good comparison would be to that is a Catholic school, roughly, I would say, 1900s, 1930s. They're really, the teachers are very horrible to the students, and when Jane leaves the school as a teen, her spirit's kind of broken. She just kind of has lost her vigor. So she goes off and teaches because she's always loved learning and reading, and so she goes off to teach, and she becomes a governess to this man's daughter. And through her being a governess at this huge mansion, she slowly begins to fall in love with the creepy, mysterious, very handsome man, who, by the way, is way much older than she is. And I find that just a little disturbing. Just a little. But oh yeah. They're rocking it. But things happen, like all romances do, and she leaves unhappy. He goes off and broods, and through the brooding and unhappiness, she teaches at this village, and she begins to hear voices.
As one does.
As one does. And during this time, the guy who's brooding, the handsome older man, has an ex-wife in an attic, and
As one does.
the mansion goes up in flames. She jumps out of the burning house. He tries and saves her. It's a horrible mess. It's a disaster. And so while all this is happening, Jane's hearing these voices of her lover and falls in love with this other guy, or kind of falls in love with this guy. And so, long story short, she's about to go off to marry this guy and go on an adventure with this guy, and she hears another voice of the brooding man. So she says, goodbye, adios. I'm going to
sensible, stable relationship?
Yes, and I'm going to find my man. So she goes and finds her man, and at the very end, he's blind and with a dog.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And fall in love again, and that's the end.
So you've got voices, you've got
creepy lady in the attic.
Lady in the attic. So this sounds like a Gothic novel.
Handsome dude, beautiful, you know, girl, troubles, yeah.
Dark overtones.
Yeah.
So what's your book?
It's Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte?
One
One
of
of the Bronte sisters. Now, the Gothic novel was huge in like the early 1800s, right?
Oh, it was really huge. I think
mystery and
what was nice is that you had all of these women authors who were very independent, and they just wrote about, if they were going to write about romance, there needed to be like some meat with it, is what I kind of felt like they needed. You know, it's like, okay, we're going to write romance for all of you women, but we're going to add a little bit of meat and potatoes or some goth in it to make it more interesting.
Now, just because some of the women writers of that era loved the Gothic novel, and I mean, okay, the Gothic novel seriously was like the vampire novel of the day.
Pretty much.
That's really what it is. It's angsty, it's dark, it's mysterious, and there's like the mushy romance stuff
And
too.
most of these novels, Gothic or not, were seen very risque for that time, because it's a book about, you know, this romance and girls falling in love, or women who were independent thinkers. It was
a big deal.
Very risque.
But some of these other independent female thinkers and authors, they weren't such a fan of the Gothic novel, and one of them wrote a parody. And in this parody, there's a young girl who she just loves the Gothic novel, and she reads them all the time. And she and her friend go on a little trip, and while they're there, she falls in love. And she falls in love with a guy, and he invites her to his house. And it's this like kind of really cool old abbey, and dark stones, and just it's got the overall vibe of like the Gothic novel. And so she's in the headspace of a Gothic novel, and the whole time she's like, oh, this family must have like secrets that they keep buried and no one can know about, and I have to find them, and oh, all this stuff has hidden meaning, and oh, there's a cover-up, and there's mystery and intrigue, and I need to figure it all out because my life is a Gothic novel. And well, the guy she falls in love with basically ends up being like, okay, there's fiction and there's reality, and you're not really seeing reality so much anymore. It's like, I still like you, but we need to like get back to an even keel. And this story, my friends, is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen.
One of my favorite authors.
She wrote a lot of social commentary, romance, just how the way people lived. And this one in particular, this was a parody of the Gothic novel and one of her lightest, funniest works. Both of these books are excellent, and I would recommend both of them, especially if you're looking for something light. Check out Northanger Abbey. If you're looking for something dark and mysterious, check out Jane Eyre. But don't be afraid of the classics, because the classics rock.
Yes, and I have a couple more off to the side here. The Great Gatsby's coming out. Hopefully they keep moving the date. Hopefully this spring or summer it'll come out. But you know, that's a required read to some of you, but if you really get down to it, it's about wives cheating on husbands and husbands cheating on wives and corruption and booze, let's just be frank.
The 1920s.
and partying and socialites and aristocrats. it's pretty interesting when you think it along those lines.
Mm-hmm. And Persuasion is another one. I have a review of that one on my blog, npl-yaz.blogspot.com. Persuasion, I've compared it to New Moon, actually. And in this case, it's a young woman who falls in love with a young man, and her parents are like, no, he's not good enough. And so he goes off to war and comes back a rich captain, and she's now on the shelf. She's an old, ancient woman of like 27. So she's past her prime, and he's flirting with all the young things, and she's the quiet, suffering sister of an obnoxious family. And she just kind of takes care of everyone and kind of thinks she's past her time. And so if you liked New Moon because of the angst, Persuasion is the best angsty love affair novel of them all. So
Very much.
So check out some of these classics. They are awesome.
They are.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.